Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about point-slope form and converting from point-slope form into other forms of linear equations that we know. We're going to start on this first page by looking at how we convert from point-slope form into slope-intercept form. And converting from point-slope form into slope-intercept form, we really follow the exact same two steps every single time. The first thing we do is we distribute the slope through the parentheses on the right-hand side. And then we get the y by itself, in this case by adding 2 to both sides. And we've converted that equation from point-slope form into slope-intercept form. Let's do the same in part B. We will distribute the 1/2 through the parentheses. 1/2 times x gives us 1/2. And 1/2 times 8. Well, what's half of 8? It's 4. Alright, and then in order to get y by itself in this one, we need to subtract 3 from both sides. And now we've converted that equation from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. We'll do the same thing in part C. We'll distribute. Negative 1/3 times x is negative 1/3 x. Negative 1/3 times negative 9. Well, if you have trouble with this one, take negative 1/3 times negative 9, and we get 3. Alright, plus 3. Alright, and now we want to get y by itself, so we'll add 5 to both sides. And we've converted it into slope-intercept form. Alright, last one here. We again want to distribute 1/4 through the parentheses, 1/4 times x, and then 1/4 times 9. So if you haven't seen how to do this yet, I'm going to write this as a fraction. There's what it is. If I go to my math menu and pull out the convert to frac key, we see that it's 9/4. Wow, that should be easy to do. Multiply 1/4 times 9. All we do is we multiply 9 times 1 and leave the denominator the same. And now we want to subtract 5 from both sides to get y by itself. And so we're going to take 9/4 minus 5, and we'll convert that over to a fraction. And that's negative 11/4. And we've got our equation in slope-intercept form. Alright, so converting from point-slope to slope-intercept, like I said, we do the exact same two steps every single time. So once you get a few of these under your belt, you should be pretty comfortable with this one. Alright, next we're going to look at converting from point-slope into standard form. I'm going to start off the same way. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the slope through the parentheses. And then I need to get all the x's and y's on one side and all the numbers on the other. So I'll add 5 to both sides, get all the numbers on the right. I'll subtract 2x from both sides to get all the x's and y's on the left-hand side. This is almost in standard form. The only thing I need is that x coefficient to be positive. So I'm going to multiply everything by a negative 1. And we get 2x minus y equals negative 11. And now we're in standard form. Now sometimes we won't have to do that, sometimes we will. It really all depends on what's going on in the equation. Let's continue on. We're going to distribute the negative 1/2 through the parentheses. Get all the numbers on one side by subtracting 8 from both sides. Add a 1/2 x to both sides to get all the x's and y's on that side. And then we need to get rid of the fraction. So we're going to look at the denominator of the fraction. We're going to multiply everything in the equation by 2. That gives us x plus 2y equals negative 20. Alright, follow the same process in C and D. In part C, we'll distribute the 1/4 through the parentheses. We'll get all of our numbers over on one side by adding 3 to both sides. We'll get our x's and y's on the same side by subtracting 1/4 of an x. We'll multiply everything by 4 to get rid of the fraction. And then we need to multiply everything by -1 to get it into standard form so that the x coefficient is positive. Last one more. We'll distribute the -2/3 through the parentheses. It's -2/3 x. -2/3 times -9. I multiply -2 and -9. That gives me positive 18. Then I divide that by 3. Gives me positive 6. And now I'm going to get all the numbers on one side by subtracting 6 from both sides. Which gives me y equals -2/3 x. Now I add 2/3 x to both sides to get my x's and y's on the same side. That gives me 2/3 x plus y equals 0. And to get it into standard form, I need to get rid of this fraction. So I look at the denominator. I multiply by the denominator. Multiply everything by 3. Gives me 2x plus 3y equals 0. And there's the standard form of that equation. Alright, so that's how we can convert from point-slope form into either slope-intercept form or standard form. That's the end of this lesson, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.